It is very sad that President Tinubu's speeches, almost all of them, are now becoming a propaganda machine. 100% propaganda. No element of truth. No element of substance. None. It's unfortunate that any time now you sit down, you want to listen to the president talk, what you'll be hearing is complete braggadocio, complete propaganda, devoid of substance, devoid of truth. And making such broadcasts when people are suffering and dying out of hunger and hardship is disheartening. Throughout the whole speech, did you hear him mention how much Nigeria is owing now? Nigeria is owing $100 billion. That's about 150 trillion naira. And Tinubu borrowed almost half of this amount within 2 years. And he's telling you about the economy improving. Everything his government is doing now is based on rebasing. Because they cannot stand up with the truth of the facts. They'll tell you they have based the GDP. They'll tell you they have based the inflation in order to manipulate the figures. Let me tell you the hoax that has become this government. Part of the propaganda they used to come into government is that by 2030 they will make Nigerian economy $1 trillion economy. After they are rebasing, Nigerian economy, the GDP is about $243 billion. The president is touting that the GDP has increased by 4.23%. 4.23% of the GDP. Give them even $280 billion. Dash them that, because at times they would issue the propaganda that is $280 billion. Because basically it's about 372 point something trillion naira, which is about $243 billion. But give them even $280 billion, growing at the rate of 4.24%, meaning each year there will be a growth of about $11.9 billion. In 5 years, it will be about $60 billion. If you add that to $280 billion, it will be about $340 billion by 2030. Not even up to about 30% of the propaganda that this government is deceiving people about. $1 trillion, 2030. Creating false hopes, creating false impression. Look at that speech. Did not even pay condolences to the hundreds that were massacred in Katsina, in Zamfara, worshipping God. And he is a Muslim. He picked another fellow Muslim ticket. Muslims dying in droves. Nothing to signify the level of security. And you can see how the young Somto Chukwu Maduago was murdered as a result of the insecurity problem. That is why people will tell you that when it comes to insecurity, you can't allow the criminals 1% success. Because that 1% success can lead to irreparable, irreplaceable loss, which will be 100% to the people that are the victims of this. The young Sumter was massacred and died. The president could not recognize such terrible loss in a broadcast. 29-year-old lawyer, my learned colleague. And Broadcasting is part of the general entertainment in a way. They educate, they inform. And yet you have a president that is dishing out propaganda in the name of broadcast on an independent, celebration. Now, what are the contents of his speech? He told you that inflation has gone down to 20 point something percent. Rebased. Please, has the cost of fuel per liter gone down? Has the cost of PMS, which is powering the whole inflation determination, has it gone down? Where did they get that figure from? Rebased. The cost of food, the only ones that have gone down are the ones that they harmfully ordered their importation. Rice, maize, and another crop. They imported it in order to create the impression that things are not going haywire. If you go to the market, you will see the prices of all those ones that are not being imported still very high and has even gone up. And then those ones that they are now importing, the expired rice and all those things, because they say these are some of the rice that they've stored abroad for more than 10 years. Why make the farmers to go and suffer under the security to produce, and they cannot sell now because you have ordered importation, when you know that the prices are going haywire? Unhealthy food. And it's a president that is telling you things are improving. If people are not dying in your village because of hunger and hardship, they are dying in my village in Soka because of hunger and hardship. So all those talk, they are simply bewitching Nigeria. I have said it before. And whatever APC says about itself is a lie. But they have upgraded now from the level of lies to the level of bewitchment through enchantments. That's what they're doing. Falsehood is no longer enough. They've now grown to enchantment so that they can bewitch. Now, what was the president saying? In the economy, he wants to let you know that non-oil export is improving. On what? Okay, let's start from revenue. By August, he said they have collected all the revenue. From where? Extorting the people through higher taxes, through higher tariffs. What are they producing that will make the revenue to increase? Tinubu's government is serving the powerful, not the people. Can you imagine? In that speech, he said they have shared 330 billion naira in social investment program. To who? They say 8 million homes. They say 25,000 per month. Some have received 2 months. Where are they? People are moving more into poverty, and you're saying you're sharing money. But here is the annoying thing. They have shared 332 billion unaccounted money to people that probably some of them have died so long ago, because to me, in my own opinion, they're just sharing that money amongst themselves. Recalling what happened, that EFCC is investigating that ministry. One person being found to be cutting away 40 billion naira. Tinubu's humanitarian minister, within days or weeks of operating as a minister, billions, 3.2 billion then was brought out. And they said they were going to give 500 and something million to 4 states. And almost 3 billion was used, they say, consultancy fee. You will see a minister getting as big as 400 and something million. They say consultancy fee to tell us how many number of poor people in the states. So that money you saw, in my own opinion, is being shared among the powerful and the people who are students in the name of NEL Fund, in the name of youth credo, or what do you call it? Corporation credo, youth credo. They say they are lending money to youths. They will borrow to youths, lend to youths, lend to industries, but they will bring money in the name of social investment program and share among the powerful in the name of sharing it to homes. Assuming you're even sharing it to homes, you're teaching them to eat fish, So after the 3 months, wow, what would each person use 75,000 to do after 3 months? No, what can 25,000 naira afford you? If you had used that 330 billion naira, for instance, in power, you know what it would have done? It will help most of those homes you're seeing to be able to start doing something, and their children from their house, because there is availability of power. If Awolowo is alive today, he will use that money and provide free education to the children, not borrowing money to the indigent students. He said they have borrowed about 140 or thereabout billion naira. They have borrowed to indigent students to go to school through Nail Fund. They will still come back to pay. Yet you're sharing. If you don't have money to provide education, healthcare, then you're sharing money among the powerful. So all those revenue you're seeing is more extortion from Nigerian people.